We are wrestling.
We are wrestling.
Don, D-O-N?
Dick, got it.
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. We got the Asian Sensation, and guess what? We're all matching tonight, fellas.
Yeah. It's funny because before we got on here, by the way, what's going on? We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It is Ben, the third host here. It's funny because I kind of thought that all three of us would be wearing it tonight, at least two of us, and ironically enough, here we were. And then we bullied Donnie. We canceled him until he put it on. So here we are.
Yeah,
we got a bunch of good stuff to cover tonight, though.
Yeah, Donnie, you were about to be canceled, bro.
We held the cyber gun to this man's dome and was like, put it on, we're not doing the show. It really didn't go like that, but we did get to see his interesting shorts he has on right now. But before we get into everything, hope you guys are doing well today. But yeah, Don, take it away.
And the shorts he's talking about, right now I'm repping ECW shorts. Chalk line, pretty cool brand. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And this week in, the wrestling community, I think we got some pretty solid topics to cover this week. Not really a dead week. And one thing that did happen earlier in the week, WWE ended up getting sold, which actually ended up being false.
Yep.
We actually went live a couple days ago, and it was a very chaotic day.
It was very chaotic. Left and right.
Very chaotic.
Stephanie McMahon, she resigned. And then, we saw that Saudi Arabia bought WWE, which didn't happen. So those reports we can completely, put to the side.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. Thank God.
Thank God is right.
It is a very good thing that it was not sold to Saudi, because I feel like there would be a lot of problematic things that would have happened in terms of like fans and like beliefs, and all of that would have bled into the industry, and that's something that could definitely turn off viewers, because it's just been this big powerhouse thing for so long, and I couldn't imagine it being ran any other way, so, and it's already odd enough that we already have to think about it being ran another way, considering that this looks like it's going to be a legitimate full process. And I'm like, a lot of me is very worried, but at the same time, part of me obviously is very curious. I'm a toxic wrestling fan too, so I regardless, I'm like, fuck this, but sure, I'll bite. I'm completely indecisive on like what I want to, where I'm leaning, but yeah, I'm just really glad that it's still very up in the air. But with all that news circulating, we do have things that tie into what we want to say. So,
to be honest, I think we're all toxic wrestling fans, which is why we have the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, to be toxic.
Yeah, man.
Nobody cares about. It doesn't get as toxic as Danny Huckins, though.
Oh man, dude, that is absolute Daniel, literally the Mark Huckins.
I don't think of myself as toxic. I think of myself as passionate. And
the way I see, that is a very good term, but you toxic as fuck, motherfucker. Don't get it twisted.
And the way I look at it, right?
Yeah,
if you love pro wrestling and you love this sport, and I feel like all three of us are very passionate about it, you're gonna be a mark regardless. If you love something, you're a mark for that something. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think being a mark is a bad thing. It just means we love pro wrestling and we're passionate about the sport. So.
And you see, that's the thing, like, about some of these old school podcasters out there that talk about the marks, which who uses the word mark, same guy that uses the word bro.
Bro.
I can't stand fucking Vince Russo and Disco Inferno. Disco Inferno.
Oh my God.
Me off on
No.
Twitter this week.
This technically wasn't on the criteria for tonight, but should we bring it up since we already
Whenever
technically
he
brought it up?
gets,
Please, let's go.
whenever he is excited, I just can't get over his just. Oh my god!
So
It's like dude
Disco,
almost pinches it loose,
so Disco Inferno went on Twitter, I guess, and
ranting.
about
Belligerent.
AEW fans, saying that when he was an in-ring performer or whatever, he was pulling 4 to 5 million viewers or whatever, which definitely didn't happen because whenever Disco Inferno was on TV, that was the time to go take the piss. So
literally, and
What kind of
Ben's
hashish is he smoking, and where can I get some? That is
Ben's
delirious.
facial reaction right there tells you everything.
that's
You
more
need
than
to know.
Roman Reigns gets. This man's saying he's better than Roman Reigns, pretty much.
I'm sorry,
Disco
what?
Inferno is so irrelevant. It's absolutely hilarious. The only reason why he's somewhat relevant is because Vince Russo gives the man a platform to express how he feels about wrestling. And
He's
it's
so
great-
irrelevant that he doesn't even have a blue check mark.
Damn. Dude, Disco Inferno, I'm sorry.
I felt
He
that in
is
my
so-
pride.
That's
I
the
can
thing.
only imagine
I
how
mean-
much this man would be shamed.
I mean,
So he thinks. So wait,
you
you
could
just
buy
said
one.
Danny. You just said Danny. Disco Inferno thinks that he's the reason they got 4 million on
Damn.
WCW.
That's what he said, man. I sent you the
Dude.
screenshot.
He said, and I quote, "He don't even have a blue check mark. That's how irrelevant he is." Oh my God! You
And
just
this man was on
slaughtered this
national
man.
TV. He doesn't have a blue check mark, and he was on national TV. Shows how irrelevant that motherfucker is.
He's a clown.
Oh my God! I am so proud of you right now. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm so proud of you
There's
right
nothing, but back to what Danny was saying, there's really nothing wrong with being a wrestling mark.
now. Roasted him.
I feel like if it wasn't for us wrestling marks or we are wrestling maniacs, we wouldn't, wrestling wouldn't be where it's at today because I think some, fans, they like to hear, yes, it's cool to hear from like some of your like favorite wrestlers through the years, like on, their podcasts and stuff. But I think fans also really like to see other fans' perspectives on things going on in the professional wrestling community.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
Man. Yeah, this whole thing is just bonkers to me. Like, what in your right mind possesses you to use a very public platform to say the literally worst kind of shit that isn't even true?
Cody Rhodes even told him off.
It's like, that's what I'm saying,
right, he
dog.
did.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Every
like,
wrestler tells him off.
Mm,
And it's crazy that he's wasting his
Wow.
time typing.
I feel like
on
he-
Twitter. No, he's typing on Twitter, wasting his time. Yet Vince Russo gives the man a podcast to express how he feels. Why don't you actually go on your podcast and express how you feel where you can make some money doing it? Twitter, you ain't making shit doing it. You're just wasting your time typing
feel like-
away.
I feel like he tried to get a job with TK privately, and TK wasn't interested, so he's just gonna take all that built-up frustration out and just bash AEW. That's what I feel like.
Dude, Disco Inferno is the guy that an independent show tries to bring into a show, and you go to like the autograph lines and nobody's at his table.
It's almost like Virgil.
Dude,
Yeah.
Virgil deserves to have some people in his autograph line.
Yeah, well,
I feel bad for Virgil. But now let's get into, the topics for this week on the We Are Wrestling Talk show. Our first topic, according to dmagazine.com, Sting is set to retire once his AEW contract is up in 2023. Looks like Sting
Damn.
is on his final, year with AEW. He signed a multi-year deal back in 2020. And according to dmagazine.com, here's what they said. And I quote, his deal with AEW expires sometime this year. He won't say exactly when. When it ends, so will his time behind the face paint. And there has been some like interviews and stuff where Sting has said that he does want to work with Darby Allin in some way during his final match because of how much they
course.
both have, gained respect for each other and how close they've gotten within
I
the
feel
last
like
couple years.
I feel like Darby Allin's is sort of like Sting's like little brother in a way. You know what I mean? It's like Sting took him under his wing, but I feel
Arguably,
like
he should be the one to retire him.
I feel like with Sting came in 2020 at Winter is Coming. That was when he first made his appearance. So I feel like his contract.
Darby Allin's fucking nuts.
I feel like
Yeah,
Sting's
he is.
contract expires sometime in December because that December is when he made his debut. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. So I think he has the rest of this year, and then like towards November, December is when he's going to be out the door pretty much.
Yep.
I'm excited.
How do you feel, Ben?
You know, like many people, I acknowledge his just illustrious and just legendary and iconic career. 100% from WCW to WWE to fucking AEW, fucking TNA. You know, just his whole career has been nothing less than phenomenal. Like, it's been great. You know, no pun intended. But it's been phenomenal, man, and it's been a hell of a ride for Sting. I mean, man's well over 60. You know, he deserves to hang up the boots and to take the pain off, per se. You know, he deserves to go out in a big match and put his all into it. You know, obviously stay safe because of his injury that he sustained to a buckle bomb, obviously. But give his all for his last match and really like remind us who the Stinger really is. And I'm just I think it would be a good swan song in like a final match. Like, this is it. Like, he's not going to perform again in the in-ring. You know, like if he wants to like help train people, like, you know, that's cool. But like, I think this should be the end for Sting. Like, I don't think he should be pulled out again. Like, he's had a very rewarding career. I think it's time. So I'm honestly, again, I'm happy for him.
Oh, real quick. According to reports as well, his daughter, who actually works for the AEW social media team, she's also going to be training pretty soon to become a professional wrestler. And I think Sting wants to help her.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I love that. I love generational superstars, and the world needs more of it. And that's a massive score for AEW. 100%. Having the daughter of Sting make her debut there, that's historic, man. You know, so
Absolutely.
I'm always with it. Like, again, I want big things for Ava Raine. You know, like I want big things for Sting's daughter. I want big things for anybody's fucking kid that's in the industry trying to make it, man. Like, I hope they make a big name for themselves out of their parents' shadows.
Here's the thing. Like, I really do, you know, always, I have like a special place for generational talent because
Absolutely.
they have to do double the work. They have to put in the extra work to, you know, show that they want to be in the business, and it's not because of their, you know, dad or mom who wrestled.
Yep.
So they have a lot of pressure going into, you know, becoming a wrestler. Now, somebody that doesn't have, you know, a generational talent, they don't have nothing to worry about because, you know, they get to, you know, really put in the work. They get to, you know, start from scratch. But when you have, you know, a generational talent, there's all that pressure on that person to,
that is a lot of pressure
perform.
because not all of them make the cut, man. Not all of them maybe get their 15 minutes of fame, but that's about it.
I feel like people forget how long Sting has been in the business as well. Like,
he's been in the business for a
he had short
long
blonde
time.
hair and he wore like the colored tights. And
I think arguably he may have had a
Surfer
longer
Sting.
career than The Undertaker. I think
He did.
maybe he had a longer career than The Undertaker. He's been a name for a while, man, through his repackaging, which was literally the best thing that could have happened for his career. You know, like and I just want to point out, this is, you know, in reference to Sting and everything, but I'm really grateful that we got to meet him in Albany. Really
grateful for that.
And, you know, I got to meet a legend. You got to meet both icons, you know, but, you know,
you got to meet Taker, man.
We're lucky as hell that we get to meet the other icon from WCW, which was basically their Taker. So
still one of the coolest moments ever.
He is an icon, bro.
I love Sting when he was in WCW because when I was growing up, I was a huge fan of The Crow with Brandon Lee, and like whenever I saw Sting in like the balcony and you heard The Crow, you know, when he was coming out, bro, I was like,
where do you think the inspiration came from? It's obvious, you know, and he rocked it, man, and that it became a solid stamp in his legacy, man, and that's what everybody will forever know him as, is the Stinger.
I feel like they missed a huge opportunity to have Sting play The Crow in like a movie. They missed a huge opportunity for that.
Well, it's not about him playing it in the movie because he didn't even start doing it until the movie was after the movie was made.
Well, I know, but I mean, with the countless sequels that they made with, like, you know, Edward Furlong and this and that, they should have had Sting play the Crow in a movie.
All right. First of all, the one with Eddie Furlong is absolute garbage. Second of all, I don't think that's all up to Sting. 1 and 2. I've never seen Sting legitimately act, so it's just like that to put that there just based on the look is I wouldn't do something.
I just think it was a missed opportunity. I just think it was a missed
He's
opportunity.
a professional
Hot take,
wrestler.
man.
I
Yeah,
think
hot
that's like
take,
where
but-
he wants to be.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm
where
sure
we
he's
draw
had the
line.
opportunities to do acting, definitely, and he's probably turned it down because he's more like he loves professional wrestling, and that's where he wants to do his thing.
And acting's
Here's what I
hard,
think
man.
about Sting, retiring 2023. I think that this is the perfect time. I always love when a professional wrestler gets to call their time, like when it's up. They decide when to end their career. And I'm
That's when they
glad that
get their
Sting
final
was
send
able
off.
to bounce back from that buckle bomb. And to see him, be in
Yeah.
AEW, I think AEW has done a fantastic job with not only protecting Sting, but also, letting him, be under Darby Allin's, line, because Darby Allin is very talented. He, I think, is going to be the future of AEW. And I just think overall, Sting has just had an incredible career, and just to see him, pretty much call it a career, that's going to be, I think, a really emotional, night when he has his final match.
And
It
like
will
you
be.
like you previously said, Sting's daughter is going to be training to be a pro wrestler soon. Just because he's retiring from in-ring doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be off of TV. He could very well manage Darby Allin. He could manage his daughter when his daughter, gets signed to AEW or whatever.
Well, I don't
So-
know.
I
I think he's just going to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, that, and I see him taking
and
some time
greets.
off as well.
Oh, take some time
And
off, yeah, but I don't think we'll ever see him again.
Yeah,
I think we'll see him again.
Like, he'll make
well, for
appearances,
sure,
I feel like.
but I don't
but
think. Yeah, nothing
here-
long term.
I don't know. I feel like Sting will make appearances here and there, like for specials and stuff, but he's not going to be like a regular on TV like he's been, by Darby's side and doing matches. I think what we're going to be seeing Sting do, he's going to be probably, behind the scenes at times. He's going to, enjoy his retirement, help his, daughter become a professional wrestler. And I think we're going to be seeing him go to a lot of, wrestling cons and doing meet and greets and giving
For
back to
sure.
the fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
After a very long, well-needed rest, man is getting up there, man.
The
He can
dude's
stop working out so much.
65. The dude's 65 and he's fucking doing splashes into fucking tables and shit.
AEW's done an incredible job protecting him, and I'm very happy that, Darby Allin gets to learn from somebody like Sting, because that's only going to make Darby Allin so much better.
Darby needs to calm down, bro. That dude's gonna be crippled by the time he's 45, man.
Why?
The way
He's
He's
this
a
day's
daredevil,
version, Spike Dudley.
he needs to fight. Yeah, look at fucking Spike Dudley now.
No,
Spike
bro.
Dudley and Jeff Hardy had a kid. His name's Darby Allin.
All right, bro. Don't put him in the same vein as Spike Dudley ever. Like, yeah, dude can take bumps, but he was seen as a fucking joke. Darby Allin is no fucking joke.
Yeah, but no,
So
that's what I
don't
mean.
put him
He's
in
a
the same
better
vein.
version of Spike Dudley.
Yeah. Oh well, I could see like in the terms
With
of
the
bumps.
stunts,
Oh,
with the
okay.
stunt.
All right. I'll bite. Yeah. all right,
Not the looks,
You right. All right. You graciously humbled me. All right. you
not
got
the
it.
character.
Hell
Just the
fucking
crazy,
no.
stupid bumps.
It's like if Sting and Jeff Hardy had a fucking baby. There he is.
I
he fucking is.
fell. Alrighty.
But
Well,
at least we
our
got the good ideas out there.
If you guys are watching this episode, let us know who you guys would like to see Sting face in his final match. We need some ideas, man. All right, go carry on.
I am the host with the most.
Dysfunctional
I deserve
family.
more respect.
Bitch, you are on the bottom.
Dysfunctional family.
Dysfunctional family.
Dysfunctional damage.
Dysfunctional emotional damage. First of all, emotional. Continue.
Yeah, every week that's what happens to me. I get fucking emotionally damaged from these two.
Oh, that was a dodge bullet.
Of course, you get emotionally damaged because you on the bottom.
All right, we'll be back, guys. We'll be back. Oh God.
Every superstar there was so many great superstars back then, and they focused on the show. What happened in the ring took care of itself.
I have enjoyed tag team wrestling more now than I ever have in my entire life. And I think a lot of it has to do with AEW, tag team matches. especially the pay-per-views.
Those crowds back then, wrestling fans were wrestling fans.
With old school wrestling, the only thing I criticize is the pace of matches. I think when it comes to old school, it's, for me, a little too slow. Characters, on the other hand, they're on a whole nother level.
You could see your hands a little too close.
Honestly, I would rather take the belt that I'm wearing on my pants. I'd rather be representing that than the fucking the new WWE Championship, okay? New episodes of Old School versus New School air every Monday only on We Are Wrestling. Alrighty, we're back. Our next topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. This one, can we please keep short and sweet?
Yes, we can.
Ric Flair wants to wrestle again. He's been saying it on his podcast, and he's been saying it all over the place. He really wants to wrestle again, and people are telling him not to.
Bro, they were offering him to wrestle over in Mexico, and I think they offered him like $100,000 for one match. That was after he wrestled his last match at fucking Starrcade or whatever it was. Starrcast. I don't think he needs to wrestle again. The dude has a fucking defibrillator in his fucking chest. The dude, like, could you imagine, bro, if he has a match and he ends up passing away, God forbid, because, you know, I don't want to see that shit happen, but if he ends up passing away in the ring, do you realize whatever promotion that's going to be for, that promotion is officially going to be shut down?
Mm-hmm.
The shit that will fucking do to the wrestling business? Not a good look, man. The dude needs to just stay behind the desk at his podcast, talk about pro wrestling, and fucking just realize that the dude's like 80 years old with heart problems. He needs to just chill the fuck out. Bro, he was almost dead during his fucking final match. Jeff Jarrett made him look like $1 million fucking bucks, bro.
Yep,
Jeff
he
Jarrett
with
did
pretty safe people.
Jeff Jarrett did everything he possibly could to protect Ric Flair at all costs. And at one point, they said that he stopped breathing within the match.
Yep, I did hear that. How do you feel, Ben, about Ric Flair wrestling again?
Pacemaker. That's all I'm going to say. Next topic.
All right. I'm going to just keep this one short and sweet as well.
All right. No. Hold on.
All right.
Let me run it back to the last talk show. If I can see your diaper out from your fucking trunks, you should not be wrestling. Period. There you go, Don. You can go. Sorry.
All right. And I think I'm going to take something from what I said the last time about Ric Flair. And that is, if any professional wrestler had the opportunity to have their last match against Shawn Michaels, they would be eternally grateful for that opportunity. And Ric Flair has gone out since that Shawn Michaels match and has pretty much buried his legacy more and more when he does these stupid matches. He was out here looking like freaking Mermaid Man in his last match.
He fucking sounds like it too and looks like him. Anyways, however, do not get it twisted. He's a fucking legend. He earned his stripes. He is the Nature Boy. However, stop. Because he's becoming literally the Vince McMahon of in-ring competition. He is senile. He has lost his way. He took a shit on the ground, and he is fucking scraping in it. Stop. Like, stop. Like, and I'm, like, begging because he is a legend. Like, again, don't get it twisted up from all this, what sounds like very much so slander, but he's doing it to himself, man.
But
He's
that's
doing
the
it to
thing.
himself.
We all respect what Ric Flair has brought to the business.
No
you know, he's
question.
had 16-time world champion, has had a phenomenal wrestling career. But for me, it's like after Shawn Michaels, it's like you really had the best last match you could have ever had in your career. And now you're just pretty much bringing the value of yourself down by doing these stupid matches.
Mm-hmm. And you want to know how senile he is? He's been going on his podcast a lot lately,
Oh
talking about
my
how
God.
great it is that Vince McMahon is back in the company.
Yeah, but he looks him and Vince, they have a relationship for years, so of course he's gonna be like that. Teddy Long even is saying stuff like that.
Oh, look at that. And Teddy Long got his fucking wish too, so he's probably like, holla, 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 doing his fucking dance on the kitchen table in his fucking diaper. I'm sorry. That was out of fucking pocket. I'm so sorry.
We're running a
I'm
nursing
sorry.
home here.
Apparently, we are fucking running a nursing home here because
The
everybody
We
that
Are
wants Vince-
Wrestling nursing home.
everybody that wears a diaper is in charge right now and is fucking gallivanting over this decision, and I hate it.
No! How is Nickelodeon Guts number 5? Wow! All right, moving on now to the next topic here for this week's
Thank you.
episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. See, we're going to keep that one short and sweet.
Thanks, buddy.
FTR. There are reports that FTR right now is taking some time off, and now we could do some fantasy booking.
I'll let you guys
Fantasy
take this one.
booking, man. So the other
What's
day,
going to happen?
Dax had did a podcast, and he mentioned that he was going to take some time off along with him and Dan. I guess that's Cash's real name. And he said that their contracts expire in April. They're going to be off TV till April. Now, there's one of two things that can happen. One, they can re-sign back with AEW. They just want some time at home and off the road, and just to fucking, recalibrate pretty much.
Well deserved.
Oh,
Or
yeah, dude, they've been
two-
running it for years right now.
Or two, they accept offers from WWE and show up at WrestleMania.
That'd be fucking sick. That'd be fucking sick.
But
would
the,
be
the,
cool.
the thing about that is nobody knows except for them two and Tony Khan when in April their contracts expire. That's the
Mhm.
only thing.
Mm-hmm. It's probably going to be the beginning of April because I think that's like when they made their debut with AEW back in like 2020.
They've been there for 3 years now, man. It's nuts. Like, it's
Mhm.
nuts to think they've been there for 3 fucking years. I remember watching their debut.
And they've done so much there, like more so than they did with WWE.
So before you guys get into like the in-depth conversation about it, like just to give like my background on like FTR and everything and like what they've achieved since leaving WWE. So I don't know much about them because I'm not a huge FTR fan, but I do respect the grind. I do respect the hustle. I do respect, where the work's put in. It has nothing to do with, they're not prettier dudes in the ring. They're at the technical core of it. They're some of the best to ever do it in a tag team, But, from going from shaving this dude's back, 3 years ago to capturing almost every tag team title in every fucking promotion that there is, and just being so successful in the past 3 years and really making an impact on these promotions in ROH and in AEW, it's really catapulted their careers. They've put people over, I just think that they're professional to the core. Their time in AEW really made me respect them than their time in WWE. Like, I couldn't fucking stand looking at them at one point just because, excuse me, not just because of the way they looked, but just, I wasn't interested in anything that they were fucking doing because Vince was just booking them out the ass. They go on AEW for a week and I'm fucking interested, but
Weren't they
I
at
think-
the last WWE show we were at in
They were.
Springfield?
and it was a fucking joke.
They defended
Yes.
the titles against the Usos or something.
Yeah, and it was a fucking joke. But, I feel as if they are a very well-respected tag team. And I feel like that they are going to be very much so a big name around the wrestling world, as they already are. I think they're going to be bigger, and I want nothing for the best with them with whatever they decide to do. If they go to WWE, they go to New Japan, they go to fucking Impact, they stay in AEW, they stay in ROH, like whatever they decide to do, I'm excited for. So, with
Well
that
said.
being said, with that being said, without knowing much knowledge of them throughout their AEW run, but from what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've gathered on social media, I'm excited for whatever they do next. And if they show up in WWE, I'm interested because I'm always watching. So, I'm interested. So I'm very open to the possibilities because wherever they go, they'll kill it. So.
Well said, man. And my thoughts about FTR taking time off, they absolutely deserve it. They have been absolutely killing it with this AEW run. And not only in AEW have they been killing it, outside of the promotion, going to New Japan, going to AAA, going,
They
Ring
won
of
the
Honor,
IWGP
all
titles,
over
right?
the place. Yep, independent circuit. They have been absolutely killing it. And I had the pleasure, me and Chaz, we had the pleasure to go see them at Big Time Wrestling and go against, they went against Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson. And they had an incredible match in Webster, Mass. And I feel like with FTR, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here and something we're definitely going to have to keep following because I like when a professional wrestler they get to control their narrative. Like Adam Cole has been one of those guys that have been able to do it for years. And I love how FTR right now, they have control over what they're going to do.
Dude, one would be so lucky.
And with FTR, that's the thing that makes it interesting and why WWE can't be out of the question. Because yes, Vince McMahon did not know how to book the Revival, but Triple H, you go back to Black and Gold NXT, the Revival had an incredible run over there, had a great NXT Tag Team Championship run, great matches with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, and, Johnny Wrestling and Ciampa.
Now,
the Revival had classics.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're Fear the Revolt now, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to put respect on their name. So
fuck the Revival.
You see, and it's sad because the Revival was actually kind of
it was so cool.
I
love
will
the
say
entrance too. I miss their old entrance music too. We
I will
go hard all day and night. All my proud brother, all my proud Southern brothers ready to fight. Say yeah.
I will say, bro, like out of every person who's in the pro wrestling business that has a podcast, Dax is like the best one to do so. The dude is just so intelligent. He's very transparent with people. Says what's on his mind or whatever.
Yeah,
you can tell how much he loves the business. I recommend everybody that watching this episode,
in order to be successful, you have
watch
to
the podcast, man. Watch Dax's podcast. It's phenomenal. His first episode was about CM Punk, and I think we should sort of bring that up because FTR and CM Punk are really good friends, and we've had a discussion about possibly maybe them re-signing with AEW, coming back when CM Punk comes back, and having Punk in the FTR against the Elite.
Can I cut you off real quick?
What's up?
I just want to say real quick, I think that's why I can't see CM Punk leaving professional wrestling because he has gained a really good friendship with, Dax and Cash from FTR. And I think they really brought that spark back in CM Punk.
Here's your fantasy booking that everybody's thinking about. They already set it up with the Elite winning the titles. So, I mean, it's very possible they may have already set that up. So
that was a great ladder match, by the way.
Great ladder match. That was one of the best Dynamite episodes.
It would shock you to hear that I saw the match. So, yes. It would shock you to hear that I saw the match.
You don't watch. You're not a very regular viewer of AEW Dynamite. So what did you think? What did you think of the match, man?
Fantastic. It definitely gave me those old school vibes, man. And I was really digging what I saw. Everybody in the ring, including the Bucks, put in some work, man. And it was definitely a
hard-hitting
solid match, man. Solid match. Good time length, good build. It was a really, really solid in-ring work. Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was selling, man. So, I gotta say, pretty nice.
Can I just say, that 7-match series that Death Triangle and the Elite put on, absolutely incredible. And like I said in my reaction video, My hat goes off to all 6 of those men for having 7 different matches during this series. And they proved to all those old-time podcast, wrestlers out there talking about Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, that they could work any style match.
Yes. It also reminded me
Loved
of regardless of what I feel towards Kenny Omega right now, it also reminded me why I love Kenny Omega, because he's a great performer, man. He's great.
I still say the match that him and Ospreay had at Wrestle Kingdom 17, best match of this year.
Yeah, dude, I believe it. I just it made me remember why I really dig Kenny Omega. I just wish he was standing on his own again, because I feel like
he's so talented as an individual too. I get
That's
that.
what I'm saying, man. Yeah. So I would love to see him on his own more. I just recently watched his match where he came out as the One-Winged Angel, fucking Sephiroth, for fucking when he was out in New Japan. It was sick as fuck.
Oh, he's a whole different star in New Japan, man.
Dude, because they're allowed to do shit.
Was that against Ospreay, the match I was just talking about?
I don't know.
Probably the entrance, yeah. It was probably that, because he did bring it back for that match.
It was sick as fuck, but
Watch the match, bro. It's
I did. That match was incredible. I love anything with Will Ospreay, but back to now getting into CM Punk and FTR.
Mm-hmm.
This is also another possibility that could happen. And for me personally, I kind of want to see FTR and CM Punk together, because they have that chemistry, they have that great friendship.
It'd be a good way to have him have some fucking security too. It'd be a good way to dip him back into the business in a lower title picture, not in a major storyline. Well, it's gonna be major when he comes back, but it's a good way to bring him back with some help.
Look, I want
be able to turn it into a work.
Look, I want FTR to be where they're going to be best booked. And I feel like realistically, I could definitely see them going to AEW over WWE, only because of all the things going on right now with WWE, selling the company. They might, not feel safe.
Vince coming back, Stephanie leaving. That's why I said, they have plans for The Rock and Cena, but I don't are they going to really want to be associated with WWE now that Vince is back, with all the allegations and stuff like that?
And I think the best thing for FTR, CM Punk, and the Elite, let's make some money off of what happened.
And Punk's been teasing it a lot on Instagram, posting even if they're old pictures, posting pictures of taking selfies or whatever, and you see FTR in the background and stuff like that. So, I mean, bro, he's teasing it, He's
been his best friends.
It's weird. He's been using social media a little bit more than he usually does. So,
yeah.
I'm glad he's using Instagram and not Twitter anymore.
Same.
He's
Twitter sucks.
He's been posting pictures and stories of him in the gym and with him and FTR, and he's teasing something.
He's
I'm just
fueling
not
the
sure
fire.
what.
I don't know. I could definitely see something happening with FTR and Punk. But at the same time, if they do go to WWE under Triple H, I would be very happy to see the revival back.
Absolutely.
I love the entrance, love the way that they were, brought in, to WWE. And honestly, wherever they go, I'm going to be happy. I just love that they get to control their narrative now.
I will say the reason why part of me doesn't think they'll go back to WWE is it seems like it seems the freedom, and it seems like they're at that stage in their life to where Dax, on his podcast, he talks a lot about him spending time with his daughter and his wife, and they're his entire world, which is great to see. You don't really see that in this kind of business. But I don't really know if they're gonna want to do all that traveling that WWE does, unless would WWE give him a very big contract, only have him part time?
Nope, because they don't value tag teams like AEW does. So I don't think that would happen.
So that's why part of me doesn't think they'll go back to WWE, just because they love being at home with their family.
I got a good example. Remember when the Hardys came back in 2017?
Yep.
Yeah.
They went back on the road full time. So if they put the Hardys, who are a legendary tag team, back on a full-time deal, there's no way in hell they're going to give FTR.
Yeah. No, there's no way. So
slap on
you
the
do.
wrist.
Yeah, dude. That about sums it up.
And like
Yeah.
Matt Hardy just said on his podcast, like, the way TK operates, like if if you're not working that day, if you go up to TK, be like, hey, I'm not working. You mind if I, take a flight home and, just go home, be with the family? He'll literally call himself and he'll fucking get you a car and fucking book the flight for you. That way, you don't have to
He
just
seems
sit
like that
around and
kind
do
of guy.
nothing. Like TK gets a bad rap for just
He
the
takes
stupidest
care of his
reasons.
stars, though.
It's
from
his
what it seems like.
booking that like it gets criticized, but I think him as a person, he's genuinely a good person, and I think
believe it.
people really, put that under the rug.
And people can identify with that, man. Like being a good person's great, and he needs to work on his business aspect a little bit. He needs to work on balancing his mark status and his professional status a little bit. But I have no real qualms with Tony Khan by any means. Like I feel like with the whole scrum incident, with everything going on in the wrestling world in general, he's had some time to reflect a little bit. So I'm interested. I'm interested in what he does next. I'm interested in growth. So
he's also only been in the business for 3 years, and the fact
he's
like
killing it.
he earned a lot of respect from me when he allowed William Regal to get out of his contract when he didn't necessarily have to.
Yep, Chris Jericho fucking appearing on Cena's 20th. Like it's
Bryan Danielson too. Big Show.
I'm saying, man, I 100% respect Tony Khan. 100% respect it. Like this dude literally started a promotion 4 years ago almost now, and it's WWE's biggest rival in years. So yeah, I'm with Tony Khan 100.
Well, guys, we'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Talk Show. We're back, and for the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, we will be going live Saturday, January 28th for the Royal Rumble stream. It's going to be a huge stream. We have, we have the big three here on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. We're going to be there. Also, my co-host from Old School versus New School, Chaz, he'll be there. And a bunch of other, people will be coming over as well. It's going to be a lit stream Saturday, January 28th. Royal Rumble. We're all going to be doing it together, because if we're doing it virtually, one would be at 10, the other would be at 7, the other would be at 2. That is not going to happen this time around.
Donnie boy, you better have a fucking whole USB strip, because you, me, and this guy gotta have our microphones. So hope you got some spots set up for us.
Oh, we're going to have to, definitely.
Let's do it. Let's fucking go, boy.
Which, by the way, with the Royal Rumble coming up, guys, we are going to be having a Rumble week here on the We Are Wrestling channel, where we're going to be doing some Rumble content. We're going to be giving our predictions. I believe, our talk show, we're going to talk about the Rumble. And, even Old School versus New School, Chaz and I, we're going to be talking about the history of the Royal Rumble.
I say we pick a day to where we go live and watch an old classic Rumble match.
I'm down.
Man, I'm down. Rumble week is going to be an awesome week here on the We Are Wrestling channel. Nothing but Rumble shit.
Cooking up some stuff in the kitchen.
But now, getting into our last topic before we get into our main event topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show.
What up?
There are reports, and I'm sorry, Ben, but I know a lot of this week is AEW. Just WWE, the only thing that really was going on was the whole buying thing, which we're saving for the main event, talking about some potential buyers. But AEW is actually set to start doing live events / house shows. While speaking on In the Zone, Khan was asked about the possibilities of AEW running live events, also known as house shows. And he said, well, that's a great question. Yeah, I have. That's something we've been talking about. We have great live event team with a bunch of great people work with. Now, Jeff Jarrett has come in. It's something we've talked a lot about, building out the live event businesses. There is definitely a lot of demand for AEW live events, and now we have this big, great, strong roster that wants to do these live events. So I think it's something we're going to do. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like that'll be great
Absolutely.
For one of two reasons. One, it gets the boys and girls, I can imagine, like, wrestling once a week and you having to be on your game on Wednesdays or whatever, and then pretty much, either doing, indie bookings on the weekend or just not being in a ring until the following week.
And they can
Or being
stream those
booked.
live events too,
Yeah, they could do that.
so they
But
can
I
give the wrestlers some exposure.
But I feel like doing live events with the amount of people that AEW has on their roster, it'll give people ring time. You know what I
and
mean?
that's what they need.
And they'll be able to like decipher, like, this dude's doing really fucking good on the live events. Let's bring him up to Dynamite, see what he can do in front of a national
Dan,
audience.
you are on fucking fire tonight, my dude. Like, yes, you are literally. I don't have to say anything about this topic. Like, yes, you literally slayed all of it for every single reasoning in that one statement, man. Bravo, you're on fire tonight, man. MVP of the show, right there.
And I definitely want to add something to that because I absolutely have
Yes.
to agree with you, Danny, 100%
Holy
with
shit.
that take. Because something Chaz and I really talk about in Old School versus New School, which, by the way, is a brand new podcast on the We Are Wrestling channel. New episodes air every Monday here on the channel. We really talk about the lack of experience when it comes to, the new school wrestlers. And AEW has lots of young talent where you have to realize some of these independent companies, they don't book certain guys, so they only have AEW Dark or Elevation or even, Dynamite or Rampage to look forward to. So it's not really enough time to get in that ring. So in my opinion, I think AEW starting to do this is a great move. I knew when they signed Jeff Jarrett, they were going to go in this direction because Jeff Jarrett, one thing I got to give the man credit for when it came to those TNA house shows, nothing better than the TNA house show back in the day. The way that they, operated that entire live events were on a whole nother level. Some of my favorite memories as a kid. And I think AEW is going to do an incredible job with this because they do have an insane roster. So many talented guys that aren't being on television, that, aren't getting the right, TV bookings. And I think with, having live events and house shows, you're right, Danny. It's the best way for a wrestler to show what they can
Improve
do.
on their craft,
Tony
too.
Khan sees that. Oh my goodness, Brock Anderson, you are really getting better. Let's give you an opportunity on Dynamite.
Exactly. And like, I don't want people to get their
Great
hopes up
move.
or whatever about going to like a live event, seeing like somebody like a Jericho. I don't think Jericho would do the live events just because that portion of his.
It'd be a very special scenario.
That portion of his life,
I'll tell you what they're gonna do.
He did that for over 30 years. Like, he wants to do TV. But I do think it's a good idea for a lot of their like talent that but they don't always get to be showcased on, like the Dante Martins, the AR Foxes, Ricky Starks, Action Andrade, who's a new guy that it's been up and coming. So I think this is a great move.
And I do want to say this too. I think the way that AEW is going to do their house shows and live events, and it's going to be a very smart way to do this. They're going to have a lot of their underrated talent that want to do the live events there. You're going to get to see, some of your favorite guys that aren't main event status, but they're like on TV. You're also going to have guys on Dark and Elevation. A lot of those guys will be there. But the way that they're going to get asses in those seats, they are probably going to have big stars at times be, like on the poster. Like, let's say this show coming to Albany, New York, John Moxley and Darby Allin are going to be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
give people a reason to go to that show.
The thing is, like Darby Allin,
shows they do it.
Darby Allin, I do think he'll do the live events or whatever. He's he's on TV, but he's not like that main event caliber superstar. But what I would do now, here's a scenario that you could do. Like, you have a show in Florida, have Jericho show up. It's close to his house.
Dude,
he can go to the event, go home.
That's without saying, bro.
You have a show in Cincy, have Moxley show up. You can do stuff like that. You can have these big guys on your show, but they don't necessarily have to do the travel.
Exactly.
All that
That's how they would do it.
But here's the thing, though, that fans got to realize. Don't doubt anybody, because you have to realize AEW, if they do these live events and house shows, they're getting a paycheck for doing it. So if Tony Khan wants to get some extra sales, hey, Jericho, here, I will give you this much money to come out to Florida, like you said, Danny.
Yep.
And Jericho's going to get paid. He's going to get to meet his friggin' wrestling fans, and they're going to have a great show.
Boom.
Yep.
All right.
Danny, you hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah, man, you killed it.
It's gonna be good stuff. I think it'll be a good way to, show off your
Enhance
roster,
talent.
show what they can do, and the ones that are excelling, bring them up to Dynamite and put them in some kind of spot. I mean, Action Andrade, he was on Dark. Jericho put him over, and the dude's been very prominent with Ricky Starks and the JS
I couldn't believe
on
it,
TV.
man. He actually did really good on the promos lately.
The dude is fucking. The dude's at
me.
The dude's on another level, man. So I think this is a great move. But I feel like Tony Khan will definitely he'll ask the people that want to do it, and he's not gonna be like Vince McMahon to where it's mandatory. You have to be on the road. It's
gonna be a choice.
Yeah.
But don't expect guys like MJF to be there, especially MJF.
Yeah, no.
He's done that rodeo. But, guys, we'll be right back with our main event topic for the We Are Wrestling Talk Show.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
That was absolutely executed perfectly, and in wrestling, timing is everything.
Let's flip this around and turn on everybody's heads. I think that's a very real possibility.
If I ever go to a Comic-Con and Batista's there, that's going to be what I waste my question on. Is what was running through your head when that kid jumped in front of you and was just doing your fucking motion?
Do that? That's his buddy. This right here.
Exactly, bro. So what the fuck is the issue?
That was back in the day, when they would show the surgeries on video during those vignettes. The dude is a fucking star.
And I didn't see a 3D or I didn't see anything from them both. I would have been extremely fucking pissed. I know that for a fact.
Do you want this dude to snap his back?
Fan.
Literally, Vince McMahon is probably the most iconic villain in just the world at this point. You can open a fucking history book and Vince's name is somewhere in there about all the bad shit he's possibly fucking done.
AEW and WWE cannot come up with anything creative for this guy.
I do not think they need to focus on casual fans. They need to focus on hardcore fans. Hardcore fans are the ones that are going to bring the ring.
Featuring your hosts, Ben, Danny, and Donnie. We are wrestling.
New episodes of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show air every Saturday, only on We Are Wrestling. And we're back. Our last topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, the main event topic. Of course, it's got to be WWE because they are on the market right now. They're going to be selling the company according to multiple reports. And I want to know, guys, how do we feel about WWE being sold? So remind you, earlier in the week, Saudi Arabia, those reports are completely false now. They were, false, news. So now WWE, is still, potentially selling the company. Nick Khan actually did have a couple meetings, I believe, a couple days ago with ESPN and Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even talks about the Khans even buying WWE.
And potentially doing joint business and working with fucking Vince.
Yeah, it came out yesterday, I believe. Tony Khan mentioned that he was interested in finding investors and potentially buying WWE. I would love that. Think of all the dream matches.
You would be shocked to hear I feel the same way. You'd be shocked to hear I feel the same way.
We'd be able to get Roman Reigns on Dynamite and Kenny Omega on Raw.
Bro, if this happens, my fucking dream of what I've been talking about on the talk show for so long will have come true. WrestleMania will literally be a Forbidden Door event, and I'm so happy if that's the case. So yes, please, I would hella bite. I would feast on the fact of the Khans buying fucking WWE and making it a huge brand for wrestling in general, because at that point the whole world's connected.
I know you're not that crazy about him, Ben, but could you imagine the match that the Usos and the Young Bucks could have? Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not even gonna lie.
Super
It would be a
Kicks
spots
around.
fest, but that would be fun.
Absolutely.
Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns, bro.
Absolutely, dude. I'm with all of that. So yes, I feel very strongly on that option. 100.
MJF and John Cena.
So the way I will say right now is I'm open to Disney or the Khans. Those are the only two options I'm fucking comfortable with. 100%, because it's in good hands either or. But the Khans would make it so much bigger.
You see, I want somebody I want somebody to buy WWE that's gonna treat it with respect, that loves pro wrestling. I don't want somebody to just buy it. I don't want just somebody to just buy it just to have extra income and revenue. You know what I mean?
No, of course. And with selling it to a big corporation like Disney, there would be those restrictions. But with the cons, it's open to interpretation. So, like, again, I'm feasting on that idea currently.
I know WWE has a streaming deal in India with Disney Plus. So like all the like WrestleMania, all the pay-per-views, just like they do Peacock over here, they do Disney Plus over there. So
which is smart.
So
And
I mean,
Disney's got a lot of money.
The thing is though, Vince McMahon,
WrestleMania is going to be held at the castle.
Vince McMahon will make the price for WWE so astronomically high. He's not going to want to sell it to Tony Khan. They don't like Tony Khan. My thing is, if WWE sells to Disney, I have a strong feeling that it would be on Disney Plus, but just like they do with some new movies or whatever, even though it's on there, they put it behind a paywall, so you would have to pay for each show. It's a children's app, bro. Like, you know, parents are gonna complain if their kid fucking, clicks something and it's pro wrestling related. You know what I mean?
I understand.
You know, here's what I think.
That is
the cons are the perfect buyers for WWE.
I'm with you.
For me, the two people that, like, the two groups that I'm interested in has got to be the cons or ESPN. That's the two I would be more comfortable with, because I think ESPN, you know, they have a very good platform to where maybe we can start getting more of that, like, combat sport feel to professional wrestling, which I think in today's age, it would work.
I heard
if it's done right.
I'm not quite sure because I'm not like a UFC fan or whatever, so I'm not sure the company's name. But the company that bought UFC a couple years ago, but Dana White obviously is still like in charge of it. But a company bought UFC, and apparently they're interested in purchasing WWE as well. I'm blanking on the name. I'm not a UFC fan, so I don't.
I'm not
I don't
either,
fuck with
really.
it,
but here's the thing: I feel the most comfortable, like you guys said, with the cons buying it, because I feel like they're not going to get involved at all.
They would keep the wrestling game alive.
They're going to let, WWE continue to do the operations the way that they do it.
Oh
TK said that he would allow
chairs. Oh my.
TK said that he would allow Vince McMahon to still run the company or whatever. But does Vince McMahon really want to be known as, he was the only game in town, and now he's working for Tony Khan technically?
Hey,
that's what trips me out.
That would be an interesting story to add to his arc, though. Him finally working with people as he's on his way out. Fucking.
You know something? You know, would be a crazy plot twist.
What up?
What if Triple H and Stephanie, like, just pull out, all of this money and they buy WWE?
Bro,
that would be pretty insane.
I wonder if they get the family discount.
Triple H doesn't even have enough money to start his own wrestling promotion, let alone buy WWE.
All right, after that take, Ben, you're the MVP of this episode. That
What'd
was
you
a great
say?
take.
I didn't even hear him.
That was such a great take. Damn.
What'd you say?
He said that the Helmsley family, they're going to be getting a discount for buying WWE. The family discount.
I was like, do they get the family discount? He was like, they're going to be selling up all this money buying WWE. I was like, well, do they get the family discount?
For this episode, Ben.
Is it a 30% off discount?
So I posted this in the group chat earlier before SmackDown. I read Fightful posted an article on their website. Apparently tonight, before SmackDown went on the air, Triple H had a talent meeting.
I saw that.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent that's worried.
It was
about,
out in Green Bay. It was
yeah,
just going to see whether or not they would sell.
There's a lot of talent that's also worried that Vince McMahon is going to get a little bit too involved in the shows, and Triple H was like, no, he pretty much reassured everybody that Vince McMahon wasn't going to get involved.
Can you imagine that? This is basically what it's going to be like. Imagine this: you're at home, your elderly senile father-in-law moves in. You're making up the cookies. You put some in a jar. Your senile granddad goes to reach in the jar, and you just got Triple H smacking his hand out of the way every single time. That's basically what it's going to be like. That's basically what it's like. Your senile granddad came to live with you.
Vince McMahon's
apparently, Stephanie doesn't want anything to do with her father. Absolutely
yeah.
nothing.
And she just
Hey,
underwent surgery
wasn't
too.
I the one that said it? That the McMahons, they have drama in the family.
Mhm.
I would
I was the one that brought that to light.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall at their fucking Christmas party. Stephanie just had surgery, by the way. She had ankle surgery.
Yeah, let's we'll talk. That's a talk for another time.
Is already had it set in stone that Saudi's gonna buy WWE, but the deal hasn't been finalized. I just knowing the kind of man Vince McMahon is, he's gonna want to go for whoever gives him the most money, which is gonna be Saudi Arabia. I just have a strong feeling in my stomach, bro, and I fucking despise it.
Yeah, but again, we won't know till it happens.
We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
It just sucks that all this is happening like right before WrestleMania season, like the road to WrestleMania.
And we've talked about that already.
And when we went live the other night, I legitimately thought like the deal was finalized. It was all over Yahoo. You know, people who have very reliable sources on social media were fucking talking about it. And turns out it was false, man. It just goes to show, don't listen to everybody you see on social media post something. Because
100% facts. But guys, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we talked about this week on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the talk show, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow all of us on our social medias and other YouTube pages. Ben is back on his channel, The Lone Rager, with a sick-ass intro now. Danny is posting wrestling reactions and doing live streams.
I do want to mention this, man. I do want to mention this. We're at the end of the episode.
I can't plug my shit. Fuck you.
We're gonna do all the plug-in, bro. We're gonna plug that shit deep. Me and Ben have a new podcast series that we're gonna be doing starting on Monday. We're gonna be talking about The Last of Us television series on HBO Max, man. New episodes are gonna be on the TSBR podcast YouTube channel every Monday morning, 10 a.m. So it's gonna be a great time, man. So I hope you guys tune in and enjoy it. Donnie, man, carry on.
That's right, and I am very active now over on Best One Donnie channel, where I'm doing Nickelodeon reactions, doing figure unboxings, toy hunts, and cool stuff like that every other day. All the links are down in the description below. In addition, if you want to go support We Are Wrestling a little bit more, you can go follow us on our social media pages. We are very active now on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you want shorter clips of the talk show, they're on there. Follow us. And, of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.